Hello, I'm Ricardo Enriquez, and I'll be discussing BP's functional issues relating to accounting and marketing. So, one of the biggest issues in terms of accounting that BP has faced has been the Deepwater Horizon oil spill expense, and the fact that it's not complete yet. Uh, Last July, BP actually announced for the first time a estimated price tag on the spill, and that was at $61.6 billion. In 2016, they paid out $7 billion for this expense. They project in 2017 to pay out somewhere between 4.5 and 5.5 billion dollars. In 2018, they expect to pay another $2 billion and then $1 billion thereafter. Now, this was kind of announced in July of last year, but as you can see on the graph to the right here, that they've actually already surpassed that estimate. These figures were announced earlier this year during their 2016 financial review, and it's the price of this oil spill is probably going to hit over $65 billion, if not 70 billion. So that's a lot of money. It's very fair to say and obvious to say that if it wasn't for BP's healthy financial situation before the oil spill, this company would have been bankrupt by now. But they've been able to stay afloat. Um, as you can see here more that their revenue for 2016 was $186 billion compared to 308 billion back in 2010. Now, one of the major reasons for this difference, in addition to the Deepwater Horizon oil spill, is also the downturn in the industry. Obviously, the industry has been in a downturn for a number of years now, and that's why they only were able to do a revenue of $186 billion last year. In terms of profit, the company is still profitable though. They made $172 million just last year alone. And in 2010, compare that to the year of the incident, they did lose $3 billion. And they lost $3 billion excluding the oil spill expenses. Today, they do have a healthy cash flow of $17.6 billion. And that's very important for the organization to have that cash flow, especially given the fact that the oil spill expense is not complete. In terms of recommendations for BP, we believe that the company should maintain their capital discipline in terms of investing. They have been making some very wise decisions in terms of investing, and then also be very wise in terms of reducing spending, not necessarily from the investment side, but reduce spending in different areas. In terms of marketing, the company has changed a lot from before the incident, before the BP, before the Deepwater Horizon incident. Their marketing strategy really focused a lot more on their specific products, and today they really focus less on that and more on corporate social responsibility and organizational culture. This has been a major shift in the organization, and of course, it's really in response to their incident. One example of how their marketing strategy has changed came just 2 months after the oil spill. Their CEO at the time was Tony Hayward, and he launched a 1 minute ad that cost the company $50 million. And in that ad, Tony Hayward pretty much apologized to the public for the oil spill. He also talked about his commitment to honoring all legitimate claims and assured the public that the cleanup would not be at the expense of taxpayers. In other words, he was committing to paying up and paying for the oil spill, the, for the company to pay for the oil spill, not the taxpayer. He also really talked a lot about the efforts that were being made by BP in terms of the cleanup. He really talked about how they were going to be launching over 2 million feet of oil booms throughout the ocean. They had committed over 30 planes to help in the effort, over 1,300 boats to help clean up the oil spill, and over 1,000 people to make up this cleanup crew in response to the spill. Unfortunately, the commercial didn't go well in terms of the public. It did receive a lot of backlash. Many people did not believe Tony Hayward's commitment to the oil spill, and they really felt like he was looking out more for the company and for the image of BP as opposed to actually the the situation that he had placed those residents in the Gulf Coast. After that commercial, they continued to pretty much launch a campaign where BP talked a lot about their commitment to the U.S. You know, they had spilled a lot of oil in the Gulf of Mexico, so now they really shifted to talking about their commitment to not only the Gulf, but their commitment to the U.S. This commercial here was by Daryl Willis. So they started using BP employees to talk about their commitment to the U.S. For example, in this commercial, they claimed that BP employs over 250,000 U.S. workers and how they are the largest U.S. energy investor at $55 billion in the U.S. alone. So again, they started really talking about how they're just not here to make profits. They're here to also employ and invest in the U.S. In terms of how much money they were spending in ads, just a few months after the oil spill, by September 2010, BP had already reported that they were spending $92 million in ads. And in 2012, BP's U.S. operation announced a $500 million marketing plan to revitalize their U.S. retail brand. It's still important to know that BP has over 7,100 retail sites in the U.S. alone, so they also have to spend some money on talking about their retail locations in the U.S. BP's marketing strategy also extended to innovation and their technology outlook. So in these ads, if you can go to the BP website, you can see how they focus a lot also too on innovation and renewable energy and alternative energy. So they talk a lot about how they're pretty much sustaining a strategy through technology. And these ads, the purpose of the ads is to educate their consumers and investors. So in terms of their marketing, in terms of marketing recommendation, we believe that they should continue to focus to talk about their organizational culture. We believe that they should continue to run ads and discuss BP's commitment to safety as well. After looking at their accounting situation, they cannot afford to have another oil spill. So it'll be better for the organization to really commit to safety and let the public know about that strategy and how they can continue to be a safe organization. That's it for me. Again, that's a little bit about BP's accounting and marketing functional issues. Thank you.